Today I'm here with Mr. Asamoah-Yaw, the author of Most by Nature. I had already posted a video that I made with him on my Facebook, and people seem not to understand what he really means. So today I have the privilege to be with him so he can really explain the world to the people. Welcome to my show, Mr. Asamoah.
Welcome, Abrante, Kwame.
I'm doing great. I'm doing well by myself.
Nice to hear that.
Like I said, we already met and we had a video the other time, and I posted it on my Facebook, and so many people didn't understand what you meant. What did you really mean?
If I can recollect correctly, my concern was an attempt to explain the content of my fourth book.
This is the book.
Yeah, which is
Most by Nature.
Most by Nature. Inside this book is information regarding life in general, or organic matter in general. But specifically, my interest is on the nature of the black person. I see black person as naturally different from non-black people. Now, I remember one of your respondents on Facebook asked a question, what do you mean by non-blacks? By non-blacks, I mean people like you and I who have less melanin, or the substance, the chemical substance that makes a black person different. The natural difference of the black person is the melanin content of the black person's chemistry. Those who don't have as much melanin as you and I have are called non-blacks. And in the book, I also use the Europeans as a typical example of non-blacks. And I'm saying that naturally, there's a natural difference between blacks and non-blacks. And in my studies, I came across several people who think that our blackness is although natural, it is because of the environment we live in, the sun, ultraviolet kind of effect on our skin or on our body, that has colored us blacks. And it's been very simplified that we are black because of the sun. And the sun, therefore, has made us what we are. But seriously, I didn't buy that. Many expect, especially medical sciences, I've gone deep into this study. I came across about 5 different authors, doctors, who have conducted a lot of research on the content in the black man that makes that black person different. They said it's melanin. And it is the melanin that has made us black or brown or this pigmentation. And they're saying that because of that we have advantage over other non-blacks. It makes us stronger, powerful, resistance to sun and heat and so many things. And they don't go much further, or they don't expose our blackness much further. At least I did not come across anybody or any authority on the field who was able to show that apart from the skin pigmentation, which they're trying to let us know that it is our difference, they didn't tell us that there is melanin content in any part of our body, especially our neurons. The neurons, personally, I would say, is the electrical system that every organic matter has, especially the beings, humans, animals. We tend to have a lot of melanin content in our electrical system. And I didn't come across this during my search. And I have noted that our difference really is within our body chemistry.
Okay.
It is not just the skin pigmentation.
It's in the hair.
Even the hair, they didn't really go much further to say that it is the melanin that makes our hair curl or black, and like our eyebrows and all of this colorful element in us. They don't go much further. And I'm wondering, or perhaps it's one of the defects of my research. Maybe it's available, but I didn't see it.
Okay.
And I wish I did see it. So I went deep into it. I want to find out why I am different from others. Or if I'm equal, how equal am I with others? Or am I similar to them, or who am I? So I started to intensify my search. And I saw that there is a cell. The human body has over 3 billion cells. Different cells. Each one is performing specific functions. One of these cells is called melanocyte. Melanocyte cell produce a whole lot of chemical substance in the human body or in organic matters. Melanocytes exist in trees and other plants. Melanocytes exist in birds. Melanocytes exist in fishes. Melanocytes exist in land creatures, including you and myself. And that particular cell in black person, now that is very essential. Please listen to it carefully. That particular cell in black person, the cell called melanocyte, produces among a whole lot of things. That cell produces 3 major elements, 3 major chemical substances in black people that the melanocyte in other racial groups do not produce those same segments.
Okay.
I think that is a natural difference. So I went deep into it. So what does melanocyte produce in black person? First, the popular one is it produces melanin that gives skin texture, color. And there's another one that produces hair texture of black people. And I saw another one, which is essentially located in the nerves of black people. By nerves, I mean all the electrical systems in the human body. That is, if a mosquito touches your skin here, the brain will get a message. The message is coming from the electrical system in the body, in your hand. That tells you that there's something here.
Right there.
And the brain will give you a signal that there's mosquito on your hand. Mm-hmm. So take action.
You gotta do something.
Yeah, so the entire body is wired with nerves. And all these nerves in black people's body are covered with melanin. It's called neuromelanin. It is not Asamoah-Yaw making. This is a fact. Check me up. You can go to the internet, Wikipedia, or Amazon, or any encyclopedic area. Check melanocyte, and you see that one of its products is neuromelanin. That is a kind of kind of texture or chemical content that covers all the neurons of black people's nerves.
So in this case, it's in the black person, right?
It is in the black person.
Okay.
And my inquiry with scientific world shows that the neurons of other racial groups, especially Caucasians, does not contain that type of neuron melanin.
So in this case, it's specific to the black person.
It is specific to the black person. It defines what a black person really is. You can't just say that EU melanin, which is one concerned with the black hair texture, and pheomelanin, which is really essentially a melanin produced by melanocyte that is located in our skin texture. It is not just those two, pheomelanin and eumelanin, but there is the third one, neuron melanin. That is my real concern.
Okay.
We are different because chemically, if you diagnose or dissect a black person's neuron system, what you will find there you don't find in others. I mean, this really should be taken care of by scientists. I'm not a scientist, but I have seen this. And I asked so many scientists and doctors to prove me wrong. They say, yeah, it's right. Our neurons are different.
So the difference between our neurons and the neurons of the Caucasian makes us naturally different from them.
Naturally different. Now, our difference is not just this thing. You see, the whole body, if you look at the nervous system of the human body, right from top to bottom, the head is containing the brain organ. The physical organ of the black person is covered with melanin segment. There's a film, a kind of a film covering the entire brain, which is grayish in color, like the shirt you're wearing or like my shirt here.
Okay.
It is not the same as those you find in Caucasians.
So in this case, when a white Caucasian brain is right here and the black brain is right here, any neurologist can differentiate.
Can tell you right by the look of it
that this is for the black man, this is for the white man.
Yeah, exactly. And I want doctors to prove me wrong. There are differences in our brain organ. When you put the two brains out there on the table, a neurosurgeon will know that this is black person's brain and this is Caucasian's brain. And I'm saying if you take the black person's brain and go inside it, dissect it, you see that all the neurons inside the lobes and also inside the substantia nigra, the main engine of the brain is inside the brain here, inside the head here, the back here. It's called substantia nigra. In fact, if you listen to the name substantia nigra, I think it's a Greek word.
Yeah, you can tell it's black in there.
Yeah, substantia is huge, big.
Yeah.
Nigra is black or dark. Black person's brain has this substantia nigra, which is about 70% melanin. And that is the place where all information are stored and processed. So, naturally, brothers and sisters, we are different. Our difference is natural. It is not environmental. The environment did not put substantia nigra in a black person's brain to show that element. It's crazy that scientists who investigated this did not mention it. Or they mentioned it and Asamoah-Yaw did not see it. That I don't understand. I'm an ordinary person, just a curious person, that I want to find out why a black person is different by nature. Everybody says environment has done this, environment has done. Yes, environment has effect on all of us. But there's something genetically, what's the right word? Embedded in the black person's nature, black person's chemistry, that you cannot refuse. So, if we admit
and
that
those are natural,
these are natural things.
It was made that way.
It is not environment where we were born that made it. It is not. And nobody can prove that it is environment that has created substantia nigra in black person's brain. I don't think the sun could do that. There's no proof in that. You know? And we have a lot of black people on this planet. And I'm trying to challenge to all these specialists to look into this area and prove me wrong. And also prove me wrong that if all the information received into the human brain through the eyes, through the ears, through taste, and through all the senses are captured and stored in the brain, which is different from others. And the black person's performance, if you compare to especially Caucasians, for centuries, a black person is still what he is. And black person can be something different if he's able to capture information correctly, process it correctly, and also implement information into human action properly. Then I don't see any other reason why a black person is not progressing other than the quality or the inferiority of the black person's brain neurons. I can point fingers at environment, that our environment has created it like this and so forth. I mean, to me it is, well, I was going to use the word foolishness, but I'm not using it. You see, if you measure us here in Africa, those of us who have not traveled, I have traveled a lot though, and compare us to all the blacks that have lived in Europe for centuries, and those who have lived in Americas for centuries, and other continents. If you compare their performance, that is the brain function, the output of the brain or the human body, if you compare throughout history, compared to Caucasians in particular, why are they efficient and we are not efficient? My major question, before you come in, is why did they use their brain to come to subdue us, to enslave us, to conquer us? They were smarter.
Yeah, so basically on the view on that,
yeah,
there is something that makes them smarter than we are.
Yes, and I'm thinking it is the neurons. Their neurons are much more efficient. You mean the excessive
melanin in our neurons causes that inefficiency?
Yes, and I'm well convinced, and I'm ready for people to disagree with me.
Okay, so what do you say to people who say the environmental programs has accounted to that?
Well, brothers and sisters who think the environment has put us in this position, I can't blame you so much, because this has been the norm for many years. Everybody thinks black people or white people or whatever kind of matter, its product is dependent on the environment. By environment, it's not just the weather or the land texture or everything. It includes the laws, the traditions and customs and languages and everything, medicine, food, environmental factors include everything that is not natural. Everything that is not natural, meaning that everything that is man-made, including laws, rules and regulations, and seeing that the laws are obeyed, school system, educational system, health system, every system is environmental. Everything. Now, by that token, I'm saying that if you are pointing finger to our deficiency, that it is the education system that has made us what we are, well, I wanted to rethink. Because the same education system here is that which was imported from Europe and Americas to here. It's not working, but it's working out there.
You mean the same system?
The same system. Okay. The British parliamentary system, the British local government system, the British education system, British everything. Asamoah-Yaw speaking English is British. Even my own language, I can't speak it properly. Give me 5 minutes to talk. I cannot talk fluently Chi without adding a word of English. We are nothing. And why didn't we do that to them?
Why did they do that to us?
They are smarter. I can't see any white person who came to live in Ghana here or in Africa and went back to practice African culture over there or speaking African language over there. I mean, master.
So you mean naturally we see ourselves as inferior to them?
Well, that is a whole thing. We see Obroni as next to God. Most black people in the past and even in the present, they see Obroni or a white person with a different perception. He's next to God. He's supposed to know everything. You know, we worship them because we accept our position that they are better than us. Now, unfortunately, the academics among us, or the so-called intellectuals among us, when you talk to them about this thing that black person is naturally inferior, they get so pissed off. Why are you saying that? I mean, what makes you say that? Why are they better than us? But hey, my brother or my sister who is challenging me, your education is fundamentally European or Americanized.
They made it for you.
Made it for you. You can't even implement it properly as you learned it. How many professors and doctors have written works or publicized works in their field? They're still using ancient ideas they learned from the schools. They cannot really practicalize what they learn. We are just copycats. And I think that is our nature. Incidentally though, I have another belief that we can use environmental factors or environmental forces to change us. I see that. So you might say, then Mr. Asamoah-Yaw, that means that environment is much powerful than nature. You know, this question of nature and nurture, it comes out again.
Yeah.
Well, my dear, if you think it is possible though that we can use environmental means to cause a change in black person's neuron system, for example. For example, medicine. Someone can come out with a combination of several leaves or plants or something else and create a medicine and tells you that if you drink 1 teaspoon or 1 cup per day for a given period, our neurons will be altered. And it is possible. It is possible. So if you tell me through environmental factors we can change and therefore all of us are environmentally manipulated, well, it's up to you. You may be right.
Okay, so do you believe that the environment have a play in that?
Yes, the environment has a play in all organic matters. But I'm saying our natural content has at least 51% control of all organic matters, including you and I. The natural content of this body is the key. Is the key, but hey, we are in the year 2017. A whole lot of people are thinking beyond our believable realms. People are really creating new things. Some things are unbelievable. These telephones we're using, if you think closely about it, there's no string attached, nothing. And you can transmit pictures from point A to point B. It's a miracle. About 1,000 years ago, this would have been God's action. You know, what we call God. God will be expected to do things that modern technology is doing. So I see that there's a possibility that someone will come out with a possible medicine that can alter a black person's behavior. Now then you say, then Mr. Asamoah-Yaw, you appear to be wrong. If environment can change a black person's nature, then environment should have a high proportion in our control. Well, you could be right, because you know at this point in time some humans are really digging deep into what makes nature nature. They're changing natural organic shapes and sizes and performances. Some people are really thinking and challenging nature. So with all these challenges going on, it is possible that someone would create an ultimate thing that can change environment. It is possible. But as of now, my brother and sister, I can assure you that at least 51%. Now, if you ask Asamoah-Yaw, what percentage does nature control of human beings? I would say, hey, man, there's about 90-95% of black people. It's controlled by our nature. Yes, 1995 is controlled by our nature. But in my book, I'm emphasizing that at least 51%. But it means that it is possible. It is possible that someone, definitely not among the blacks, someone outside the blacks client groups, someone outside, possibly Caucasian or Chinese or Indian or someone like that, will come out with a medicine that when you drink or when you eat,
They could change the melanin content in the neuron.
it can change the melanin content of us, especially not necessarily changing but reduce it, especially in our neurons. I want our neurons to be at equilibrium with the Caucasians. I think it is the quality of Caucasian neurons that has made them what they are. Yes. Now, please, in all my talks, if you read my book or if you listen carefully, by saying black people or Caucasians or white people, I'm saying most. Most is my keyword. And don't forget this keyword. Most blacks are what I describe them as naturally not efficient. And most whites are naturally efficient because of the neuron arrangements by nature. Most means that you can get a few black people, and certainly there have been a few blacks throughout history. I can name dozens of them. I have a history of black inventors, a book. Bill Cosby of America organized this book to be written. I have made reference in my book, Black Inventors Book. I mean, we find hundreds of them out there. But it is sad then, even if you read it. You may invent a glass, but a white person who you were serving will go and claim rights on, put, what do you call,
take the right of it as it is.
yes, as he is inventor. There are a few like that. A black person invents railway lines and those things, and a white person, a white person claims authority over it. You know, and clocks and so forth, and fountain pens, and most of our inventions are righted by the white Caucasians. There's something wrong with us.
Yeah, we couldn't even challenge our
We could not even challenge it. There are some inventors. But I'm saying, if you compare the number of black inventors to a number of inventors of other racial groups, like Caucasians, we are really at the bottom. It's insignificant.
Let me ask you this. So why do you think that the black man cannot make any medicine that can correct, the neurons, the melanin in the neurons?
Well, that to me...
Because you just made a statement like that definitely it's not going to come from the black man.
I think it won't come out of a black person because, you see, if you look at human beings, if I'm in a privileged position and I enjoy my privileges, I enjoy because I'm alone there. I'm the unique person who has that privilege. I don't want competition.
Okay.
So the few blacks who are very intelligent, who can do better, is most unlikely to invent something to increase their numbers at the top.
To make us on par.
Yeah. You know, that for blacks to become as smart as I am, and in fact, we try to destroy ourselves too.
So in this case, would you say that the black person is greedy and selfish? Because most of the comments that came on the Facebook said it's because of the greediness and the selfishness of the black person that put us where we are right now. But it's not our nature. That's what most people were saying. So how do you clarify that?
Well, that black people are selfish
That was
by
once.
environment or by nature?
People couldn't specify it
Yeah.
that it was environment or by nature. But how do you specify that? How do you clarify that? Do you think it's by nature that we are selfish and greedy?
Well, I have said so much in that book. The black person is selfish. Black person is not intuitive. Black person is not a critical thinker. Black person is comfortable with the ordinary life he's living. And, well, I don't know if you can link it to environment. But I'm saying if you live in a rugged environment and you inherited that from your ancestors and you see nothing wrong with it, I see you can explain that I see nothing wrong with my environment. You are seeing it because you're comparing me to others or other places. So it is your choice. But I'm saying black person is not thinking beyond his confined environment because he sees no need to think further.
And that's a defect.
He's comfortable with it, and I think it's natural. He's comfortable with it. He sees nothing uncomfortable to make him change.
But have you also thought about it that when environment, when the society that you live in programs you to be that way, that's how you're going to think?
It is possible, not possible. It is true that environment can program all of us to behave in a given way, especially things like religion. Things like religion. Prior to the 1810s, before 1820, we didn't have Holy Bible in our system, in this west coast of Africa. There was none. We didn't know who was Christ or God of Israel.
We didn't know Muhammad.
We didn't know Muhammad. Well, Muhammad was known by a few people because around 1810, Osebonsu, who was then the king of Ashanti, he had the Muslims as his personal secretaries who took information or record events.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh yes, it's in a history book. And I have made mention in my other books that we didn't have Holy Bible and all its content. We had nothing. But now, if you greet anybody in the street, how you doing? Oh, by God's grace. Oh, God, 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 God. We didn't know this white man's God. There was a time we knew nothing. We had our own kind of God. Whether our God was good or bad or real or not real, it is our God. And every culture has its own God. But now, today, the year 2017, most black people think their God is the Jewish God, the God of Israel. And I don't get it. So the environment has conditioned people to believe in something else which they can't question. Environment has conditioned black people that there's something or someone called God. When you question that, they go into the Holy Bible. And it's so sad they don't even read the Holy Bible. So the environment has conditioned a whole lot of people, and therefore it is possible the environment has conditioned modern generation to be what they are. But I'm saying this conditioning has been possible because of our weaker neurons.
So you mean if we had stronger neurons,
Yes.
we would have resisted?
We would have resisted and
we didn't
rejected
resist
it.
because
We didn't
we are
resist
weaker.
because we are so weak. Our neurons are not capable to receive information accurately and process it accurately and transmit it into human action accurately. We are basically, fundamentally, and primarily naturally different. Our brain organ that receives information does not receive it properly because of the faulty neurons. When it goes into the brain is not capable of processing the information accurately because it is fundamentally melanin based. And when the information is processed and given human actions to talk, to hear, to listen, to taste, and to feel the human expression of a particular information, you see that it's wrong compared to non-blacks. And I think it is basically our neurons. It's our brain organ. It is faulty. And I'm sure we can possibly use environmental factors to change it. Yes,
So,
I believe it can be changed.
so many people think you're a racist.
No, that is awful. How can?
So many people think you're a racist.
Well, I went to your Facebook and I found that people are calling me a racist and they don't believe a black person so dark in complexion like
And
me.
if somebody say you're the darkest person he's ever seen,
I know I'm dark. Yeah, I know I'm dark. But sir or ma'am, if you think I'm racist, please take it out. I'm not racist. All I'm doing is I have done self-introspection. I have examined myself closely, and I have examined most of my kind in Africa, in Americas, and in Europe. I have lived with them. I have mingled with them, worked with them, went to education schools and universities with them. I have my graduate at University of London. Economics degree, and I met so many blacks and Indians and whites and so forth. I have interacted with them and I know what I'm talking about. Don't call me a racist. I'm not racist. All I'm doing is that I'm trying to point out a fact which most people are scared to point out. There have been a whole lot of works that have been done from 1850s particularly. There's a guy called Paul Robeson in America. He was an operatic singer. This guy was so famous in America and Europe. He used to go to France and London to perform in operas. He was a good singer. He found out the black man, there's something wrong with the black man. And he thinks it's natural. This guy voiced it out in one of his shows. He demonstrated that blacks are naturally weak. The whole world went berserk. Why Paul Robeson is saying that?
is he white?
No, black.
He's a black man?
Black man, yeah. And they refused to even attend his shows. White people loved him. You know? Most black went away from him. And because he pronounced this, and there's been so many examples in history when you see something that you believe is real and true. When you bring it out, so much opponents. I know when black people, especially those who have learned, gone a little bit tertiary level, they think they have answers to everything. They think it's racist attitude to say black people are naturally. But please, ask your questions. Where you are sitting now, you who is criticizing me, where you are sitting now, look around yourself, left and right, front and back, and count how many things you think were invented or made by a black person. I'm telling you, just look around yourself. And I can bet you can hardly get two things which are made by black people. Why? What's wrong with us? Everything is made by somebody else. This glass is made by a white person. Everything. The camera that's taken, everything. Why?
Almost everything around us right now.
Almost everything. And I'm challenging everybody who is listening to me. Look around your personal self and count how many things you count that are made by a black person. Don't you think there's something wrong somewhere? Is it the environment which has caused all of these? I don't think so. There's something naturally wrong. So listen to me, I think there's something naturally wrong. Acceptance of the defect is the first means to succeed in clearing this problem. We have to accept it and find solution to it.
So what do you think is the way forward?
Well, you know,
Because somebody said it in my Facebook post and said, so if you have been able to detect that this is our problem, then you should be able to bring a solution to it.
well, Asamoah-Yaw is nobody, I'm nothing, and I don't have the knowledge of changing this. All I'm trying to do is point out what I have seen and prove me wrong. And I'm saying there are experts in every area of human life. We have specialists in every area. There are people who have studied human body. I know there are some black people who are really good in sciences. neurologist. Ben Carson is an example that we all know. There are many experts there. And I'm challenging them to look closely into what I'm talking about. There is something wrong with our neuron melanin. It is too much in black person's body chemistry. And I'm calling these experts to go closely into our neurons and find a way. If by medical means, like medicine, we drink medicine, you can produce medicine. If you're a black person, you're so smart. You know,
they have medicines that can change our pigment.
Yeah, my son is a medical doctor, and he's in the field of drugs relations with people, how drugs affect the human body. And I spoke with him, and he said, well, that is not my area. So I hope there will be some experts who will look into this area and create a medicine, or through clinical means, or therapeutic means, or surgical means, to cause a change. Now you can dissect a human body, open the entire body, and close it back. Human knowledge has gone very far. The expert can go into the brain and do something about it. You know, I believe that if they touch these neurons in the people's brain, there are some neurological effect that individual will have. And I think they should go deep into that area. They should find a way to find solutions. It is possible. It is possible that there can be a solution. Now, that solution, you may criticize me, it's going to be an environmental factor. So
since we can create natural factors.
Well, we can't.
Yeah, we can. So it will definitely be environmental.
Yeah, but we can modify natural properties.
Okay. Through environmental factors.
Through environmental means.
Yeah.
So possibly we can use environmental means to cause a change. But it doesn't mean that environment is controlling us. It doesn't. We are only utilizing what is available in our resources to make life better. You know, the trouble with you and I, black people, is that we have so much natural resources everywhere. Everywhere. But we don't even know how to use it. We don't know what they are. Our backyard is full of gold and diamonds. And it takes the Chinese to come over here. Pardon me, don't you see there's something wrong?
You know, based on what you are saying, I see there's something wrong with it.
There is.
A lot of people are also saying that it's the program in the site.
No, if it is a program, we can reprogram. If it is a program, or the society has programmed us that way, it is environmentally possible to take the program off. Why aren't we taking the programs off?
So our inability to take it off makes us inefficient in the neurons.
In the neurons.
Oh my God.
There's something wrong.
Are you a controversial person?
Well, I'm not. I'm just me. Well, no, some people are calling me a controversial person, but I think I question many inexplicable things in my life, especially my surroundings. I'm a gardener. I like gardening, and anything I plant, I try to find out why it germinates and grow and bear fruits and so forth. You know, and I find reasons why those things happen. When I talk about it, people think I'm controversial. I don't know. You can call me anything you want. You know, I think black person has a problem. We have big problem. Black people, most black people have problems. And we have to admit it and find solution to it. I know it is possible. It is natural, and it is possible we can alter the natural content that makes it what we are. That gives us a lot of problems, and I think we can handle it. We have to find a way to handle it. And you can call me anything you want.
So in conclusion, what do you say to the critics who are saying that you've never done any research and you're just talking?
Well, young men and young ladies who are thinking that I'm just talking I rethink about what I'm talking again, because I'm not just talking. I have read widely, and that is my findings. Don't just criticize me without reading my book or without listening to me. The main theme you should really be concerned when I'm talking is most. I'm not saying 100%. 100% Caucasians are good, 100% black people are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying most black people have neurological problems. Most. There are a few who don't have. And a few Caucasians and non-blacks, a few of them have neurological problems. Yes. I admit I have seen them. I have lived with them and I know it. A few of them. If you bring 1,000 Ghanaians here or 1,000 black people here and 1,000 Caucasians here, you will get more of the Caucasians being smarter. And only a few of the blacks on this side will be smarter. And it is so by nature. It is not a program, it's not an environment that has done that. You know, we have people who have been born in a good family.
Around good environment.
Good environment, everything available. But they end up like shits. I mean, sorry about my word. They end up like trash. That happens. But if you examine closely, I'm saying most black people have a natural problem compared to most whites. Most whites have few natural problems. It is our nature. Yes, I say it is our nature. Prove me wrong.
Okay, now Mr. Asamoah-Yaw wants somebody to prove him wrong. So
yes.
Anybody who has something to say, comments are welcome. Thank you, Mr. Asamoah-Yaw. It was
well,
nice
thank you.
having you here today.
It's nice seeing you, young man. You're doing excellent.
Thank you, sir.
You know,
Appreciate it.
I hope through this conversation, someone will come out with an ingenious way of altering natural positions.
I wish the same too.
Well, let's see. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know.
It was nice meeting you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.